You're listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. Now, the largest new media platform on the web and your number one source for after-show entertainment.
Very good team. Johnson.
The AfterBuzz Studios in Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and Bing.com, and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies. This is AfterBuzz TV's Awkward After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. If you'd like to buzz in on tonight's show, you can buzz us at 424-256-1729. That's 424-256-1729. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AfterBuzz TV's Awkward After Show.
Come on. Na, come on, come on. Cause I may be bad, but I'm perfectly good.
Oh, yes.
Sex in the air.
Isn't that gross?
Songs about sex. Yeah, that's kind of gross. Hey everyone, Bing is for doing, and we are here doing another AfterBuzz TV After Show for Awkward. Season 3, Episode 4. Let's talk about sex, baby.
That's perfect.
Yeah, that was. It's like I did it on purpose, but I didn't. But we'll go with it. I am Tiana Hobson, and joining me, I have a wonderfully full panel this week. Why don't you guys go ahead and introduce yourselves?
Hey everyone, it's Giselle Ugardi here, and if you're a fan of AfterBuzz TV, you know that I'm always live tweeting the show.
Oh, that was a long intro. I'm Jason Eichler, also live tweeting.
And I'm Christina Zias. Thank you guys for tuning in.
All right, so this episode was quite the awkward situation for good old Maddie and Jenna. They just keep having these.
It
I love
can't
it.
get any more awkward, actually.
I don't know how.
I don't think so.
I don't think it
Your
can.
parents
This
finding out
probably
you're doing it.
reaches the epitome of awkward.
So let's talk about their whole situation. So it starts off, Jenna's at home. Her dad has found the birth control pills that her and her mother went to go get. First, he thinks that they're for her mom, which I guess that could be true. And then he puts it together. Oh, crap, my darling, sweet angel of a baby girl is having
because
sex.
they're using condoms.
Yeah.
Liz, why are we still using condoms?
He was so excited, too. He was like, hell yeah, you got the pill. Let's get it in.
I love how she kind of like tried to pretend that they were for her. And then as soon as Jenna turned around, she was like, you know? And he was like, oh no. It was bad.
And he had the 5 stages of grief.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that was so funny. But I kind of feel like he's a dumbass because I thought he realized she was having sex when he bought her the condoms.
Absolutely.
You don't buy a huge box of
Yeah.
condoms like that for your 16-year-old
And don't
daughter.
expect them to get used.
And for 2
What?
boyfriends, she gave Jake condoms as well.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he gave Jake condoms as
Yeah.
well.
I mean, he said it was for, when the time was there. But, I mean, come on. You're
Now
giving
it's
your daughter
really
a
in her
condom.
space.
Yeah.
But I mean, these days I feel like couldn't you still use the argument of all the other reasons to use birth control pills, like acne,
yeah.
oh my cramps, regulating things. Wasn't that what girls would say in high school
In high
and
school.
college for the longest
I've
time?
never had this problem.
Jason.
I mean,
Don't
no,
lie.
that's 100% true. I mean, in high school, every girl who I knew was on the pill was because of cramps or something.
A medical
So you're
issue.
right. But I feel like, I don't know, between Lacey and Jenna, like that just would not work.
Yeah. No.
They'd see right through them.
They're a good team, but they're also they just don't work sometimes.
They're still kids themselves.
Well, you can like totally tell that they're teenage parents by the way they parent because they just kind of get it after everything happens. Like
They're the friends.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then the whole conversation when Jenna's trying to convince her dad not to call Maddie's parents and leave the voicemail. You have her mom in the middle of them trying to argue both sides, but she doesn't really know what's happening either.
And then they had the subtle bump. Did you notice that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Parenting.
How
We
embarrassing would that be though if your dad called to be like, hey, our kids are having sex?
I cannot think of anything more mortifying. Not only did he not talk to the parents, but he left a voicemail. That it's like there forever.
Permanently.
Yeah.
That's
Pretty
bad.
much.
Pretty much. So then I love how Jenna breaks the news to Maddie about it. She just kind of tells him, goes off to class. In class, she's in Mr. Hart's class, I think he's my favorite teacher ever on television. where he's giving everyone a hard time. And so after class, all she can think about is, you know, the teacher liking Colin's paper better than hers. And all he can think about is, you just told me that my parents have a voice, like your dad called my dad and said we're having sex. I thought that whole interchange between them was hilarious.
Well, because she's got like the cool parents and he's got like normal parents that freak out. So that's like, oh, just another thing for her, I think.
Well, and I think she knew the reaction because she intentionally told him before she was going to class. She was like, "Hey, oh, by the way, da 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 da," and then she ran. "Okay, see you later."
Right.
Okay, thanks, bye.
Your parents know we had sex. Gotta go. Bye.
I gotta go, bye.
And also after his reactions to everyone's papers, I mean, I could understand why I should not want to have that conversation with Maddie at that point.
Oh my God, that was so
Can
funny.
we talk about
Yes.
that classroom?
Cancerous.
Bullet to the head.
Illuminating.
What was the one where he threw the paper out in the hallway? Hopeless.
Hopeless.
The
That poor
faculty
Are you my
in
hopeless?
this school is out of this world.
I know.
I kind of wish I had gone to high school, at a high school just
I'd
like
have
this.
cried.
You
I had a hippie English teacher.
Really?
Yeah.
Me too.
Where like he openly talked about all the drugs he did and his.
Oh, was this
like-
a public high school?
No, it was actually a private school.
Oh, even better.
Mine was public.
I went to public school.
But
Yeah.
he was very open about it.
That's funny.
That's interesting. So then we have the greatest awkward dinner, the most awkward dinner I think I've ever watched on television, when Maddie's parents show up, made him put on a suit and tie.
Which is really
which was
sweet.
really
It
sweet.
wasn't even supposed to be a dinner.
Yeah, they just show up to have him apologize for taking her virginity.
Sorry I took your daughter's virginity.
And she's like, "Sorry, I let him."
God.
Like, what do you say to that?
That, like, my mom used to make me apologize to people too. Obviously never for that. But on the
Like
first
what?
on the first day of driver's training, I knocked over a mailbox, and my mom made me knock on their door, and it was our new neighbors, and they were pastors. And I had to knock on the door and be like, "Sorry, I hit your mailbox." And instead of making me pay, he made me move furniture. And I was like livid. I'm like, I am not ever. I'm like, next time I'll just hit the mailbox and leave. I don't care. I didn't learn anything from this.
That's
mad.
That's how hit and run started. Just parents trying to do their
Yeah,
jobs.
they ruined it for me.
Marissa, have you ever had to apologize for something awkward?
Nope.
Marissa's like, I'm
Not
a good
like
girl. I don't take people's virginity.
Or if she does, she's not sorry.
Yeah, she's not sorry about it. So then, the awkwardness of, oh, yeah, their dinner comes. And so it's like, oh, yeah, well.
I do like Chinese.
Yeah. You do the polite thing where you say, well, you're more than welcome to stay. They're not supposed to say yes. I think everyone knew that except for maybe Maddie's dad.
And I think he's the only one that wanted to stay. Everybody else is like, okay, this is horrible. Go.
Yeah. So then they sit down to break bread. And they're not really talking about much. They make a few jokes about the whole situation, but I loved how Jenna and Maddie are kind of nudging each other like, yeah, we're almost through this, home stretch here, and then they're saying goodbye. And that's just when the shit hits the fan.
I think Jenna's mom was secretly hoping that Maddie's parents would be like BFGF BFFs.
Yeah.
100%.
I think she did want them to stay.
Because they kind of all got along and they like awkwardly joked about it. And then.
Because they're normal parents.
Yeah.
And that's what
Yeah.
Jenna's mom wants to be, but she never will.
And I think she's a little bit naive in the fact that I think she just assumes that everyone's gonna like her or wants everyone to like her, so she just was like, "Great, come and eat for dinner," And it did not go as smoothly, obviously, as she intended.
Well, because what happened? Maddie's mom said like, "Yeah, we don't want to be grandparents." And she said, "Don't worry, I put Jenna on the pill."
Yeah.
Which I think that's a good. I think
That's
that's the
smart
first time we've seen
parenting.
her be a good mom.
Yeah.
Or you
Not
know,
the first time.
one of them. I
I
think-
love her.
Oh, I love her too, but she's horrible, don't you think?
I mean, she's ridiculous.
Well, I mean, for writing that letter, she was horrible.
Yeah. But don't you think, like, my mom is like, well, actually, I want to talk about when our parents had the sex talk with us.
Oh, I didn't really have one.
You
Yeah, I
didn't
didn't
have
really
one?
have one either.
Yes, I had one.
I had an awkward one. You
I
tell
was
me-
given pamphlets.
Really?
Yeah.
What? That is so funny.
Okay, you guys really want
Yes,
to
I
know
wanna
the
hear
story?
this.
Yes.
Okay, I was 9 years old, and my sister was 7, and we were in Greece on family vacation. I don't even remember what my dad said, but he cornered us. We were at the beach, and it's almost as bad as, if you're like, the worst thing your parents could do is talk to you in a car, because it's just
Yes.
you and them,
There's
and you
nowhere to
can't
go.
go anywhere.
Mine
you
was in a
can't-
car too.
Oh, see, this wasn't even in a car. So, but I was 9, so I wasn't going to run away. So he just started talking to us about the birds and the bees. just on the sand as the sun was setting. I'm like, this is uncomfortable. And to be honest with you, I had no idea. I had no idea. I think I'm still a little naive. And, like as a child growing up, I like just never even like what's sex? You know.
I used to think sex was when people were kissing because in movies, every time it started getting steamy, my mom would cover my eyes. And I went to a very Christian elementary school.
When they have sex?
I went to a very Christian school. And one day I just blurted out in class like, "Oh, I watch my parents have sex all the time."
Oh my God.
So the teachers are like, D, you want to talk to your daughter? And my mom's like, Tiana, what do you think sex is? I was like, well, every time you and dad like are kissing in front of me, that's sex.
Aw, that's
And then
funny.
after that, I was just told
they kiss
to
in front of you.
That's so
I was
funny.
just told to read books.
See,
after that.
my mom, my dad didn't have the talk. It was me and my 2 older brothers, and we're driving, and my mom goes, "You know how when you were a little kid you used to pee the bed?" And I'm like, "Yeah." She's like, sometimes you might wake up, your sheets might be wet, but it's, she goes, it's just because that's what big boys do.
I love where that just went.
I'm like,
I was
okay.
not expecting
How old
that.
were you?
Okay, guys, so let's
Let's
move on.
Let's
It's just getting awkward.
Yeah, Jason, that was a little
Awkward. I thought that was
Awkward.
appropriate.
So basically, they get into that huge fight about, whose parenting style is best. They storm out, and then at the end of the episode, I kind of felt bad for Maddie. He shows up at their doorstep with his bag all packed and everything, and he's like, you guys are right. You guys do have different parenting styles, and I'm more your kind.
Which is really
cry?
sweet.
Yeah.
Really cute.
One thing I thought with that whole dinner party was when I think Maddie's dad said, "Oh, I had an idea because I found condoms in Maddie's room," and then there was that whole conversation about how many partners has Maddie really had.
That was so horrible
few.
for him.
And yeah, that was
few.
awkward. And Jenna's like, "Yeah, how many have you had?" Because she's still kind of awkward with him, even though they DTR'd. They still haven't discussed all the details.
All the
so.
details.
I don't want to know the roster.
No.
I wouldn't want
No,
to know
yeah,
either.
you're right.
I don't
Keep
wanna
it to
know.
yourself.
Especially because I feel like Maddie, most of his partners are people that she already knows
Yeah.
throughout the high school. So
That's valid.
I definitely.
Who's number
wouldn't know.
3? Do we know who number 3 is?
She, I think.
Or
No.
do we
Or
know
that
who
girl
number
Courtney?
2 is?
I was assuming that number 2 was the girl who he took out for Valentine's Day last season. I
Okay.
can't remember her name. That's who I assumed 2 was, and then she kind of gave him a look with 3, really. So I was
But-
like, maybe we'll find out
Wait,
later.
was Jenna
Jenna-
number 1?
I thought.
I feel like she can't be number
I don't
one.
I don't
so
think she
either.
is number
Either.
1.
We'll have to ask them when
But-
they come
Yeah.
up.
Maybe it'll be one of the behind the scenes on MTV.com.
Ooh, maybe.
Ooh,
yeah.
Good
Ooh.
plug. Dun, dun, dun.
Dun dun dun.
I do my homework
okay.
sometimes. Sometimes.
Sometimes, only sometimes.
Oh, do you-
Yeah.
Oh, I was
go
gonna
for it.
plug iTunes since we're plugging away. If you don't already, go onto iTunes and search AfterBuzz TV Network and subscribe to the Awkward After Show and give us 5 stars and give us lots of comments and share the YouTube link. And now you can stream AfterBuzz on your iPhone. I have an iPhone 4 with no S, and I can still watch it. So if you have anything better than that, you'll be fine.
And I want to take a quick minute to shout out some people who left us some comments this past week.
I love people
on
leaving comments.
iTunes. Sassy Aggie 12, she gave us 5 stars. Said she
Thanks,
loved the
Sassy.
new host.
Sassy.
Thank you. YouTube, we got comments from Lilith Day Boharney.
Tiana's really good at reading.
Boharnes. This is a tough name, okay? And then T Likia 06. So thank you for your comments. Thank you for taking the time.
We read all of them. If you
Yes.
don't think we deserve 5 stars, let us know why before you rate us, and then hopefully.
But just
we'll
tweet that
deserve the 5
at us and
stars.
don't give us the 4 stars. Please.
Don't bring down our rating. And give us thumbs up on YouTube too. No, don't just.
Yeah, don't just forget about that. Let's talk about Tamara and Jake.
Oh, it's
And-
Mara.
and more sex.
And more
And
sex.
more sex.
Sex. Okay, so Tamara is waiting for Jake to.
Feels like the first time. Sorry, I still have the Pitch Perfect song in my head.
She's waiting for Jake to say "I love you" before she gives him her goodies.
Here's the thing, though, is that didn't they already say "I love you"?
Well,
in,
they were
in
saying
French.
in
Je
French.
t'aime.
Je t'aime.
Isn't that the same? I mean,
She was saying that that's not the I love you, I love you.
That's like the vacation Bristol in Paris. I love you.
Which I'm surprised they didn't have sex over the summer in Paris.
Likewise.
I know, because I feel like
Like,
That's
hello.
a good amount of time.
isn't that what teenagers do when they go on those school trips? It's just, I mean, they're rarely chaperoned that closely.
Is that what you did, Tiana?
No, I didn't go on any trips in high school. I was an athlete. I didn't have time.
Okay.
Wow. I feel
glad-
like it's kind of half and half. Like I feel like there were the girls that just kind of gave it up in high school, and then there were those that were like, no, we're dating for a year, 2 years, and like
I don't know why I
casual
always think
sex
of the
didn't always
hills
really exist in high school.
when we talk about this show, but remember
That's how I
Lauren
feel.
Conrad
I mean,
saying
wait, casual sex
6 months. That's when the good girls give it up.
6 months?
Yeah,
in the real world or in high school?
in high school. I
Like
think.
in the real world, eternity.
So, anyways, she doesn't end up waiting for that I love you. She calls him up after she gets the call to be an alternate on the cheer squad, which was really cute because the whole time that Sadie didn't want to call the alternate, I was like, please let it be Tamara.
I
Please
know.
let it be Tamara.
Yeah.
And then it was, and she was so excited. So she calls Jake and she's like, I'm so excited. I'm not even going to wait for what I was waiting for. It's time.
It's on.
It's on.
No, she said, I'm ready, okay.
And he shows up with his sweet little van set up with the pillows and the rose petals. And she
As
starts
soon as
crying.
I saw the van,
I was like,
I
come
knew.
on.
I'm like,
100%.
what a dick move. Like, we saw that same minivan.
But he's such a sweet boy. Like
He is.
No, and
He
like
meant
no
well.
part. He just wanted to have like a good moment. And I think that I love him. He's very sweet.
But a minivan?
Yeah, but I think that for him, like, it wasn't just a minivan in the back seat. Like, he set it up very nicely. It was like his love shack, you know?
Yeah.
It was
Rose
Jake
petals.
Shaggin'
Shaggin'
Wagon.
wagon.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it did kind of feel like the place where you take all your girls. It's like how guys sometimes have that one restaurant that they take all their dates to.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of felt a little bit like that. But on the other hand, he didn't have much time to come up with anything. His girlfriend called him and was like, get here, I'm ready. So he kind of hopped in the
True.
car and just went for it.
I guess.
I mean, that's how I looked at it. So they had to have a little talk in her bedroom, which I liked how when he walked in, he said, your mom said it's okay for me to close the door.
So funny.
He's such a sweet boy. Like, I feel like every mom would love to have him.
And
I wasn't even allowed to have boys in my bedroom.
especially with
I
the door
wasn't even allowed
closed.
to have boys on the
I
floor
was,
of my
but they
bedroom.
didn't know things about me, so it was a different situation.
That's
Wow.
hilarious.
Oh, Jason. So while they're having their little talk, and she says, everyone saw you read Jenna's blog. They know that that's what you had planned for her. This is kind of what I always wanted. And they talk about being in the hotel room and in the terry cloth robes, and he picks her
Chocolate
up.
When he picks her up,
Strawberry.
Yeah.
that's so funny.
Picks her up. And then he's like, and I'll shut you up by doing this. And then
I got goosebumps.
I did too. I was like, oh, this is so sweet. How romantical.
romantical.
Clearly, my idea of romance is not very high.
No, girl, you gotta up your standards.
Hashtag desperate.
We're not talking about you, Jason.
Yeah, I'm not saying I'm not.
So, I mean, they end up, doing the dirty. And
It was not dirty. They did.
Yeah,
they
they
made
were-
sweet love.
They made
yeah,
love.
Yeah.
they made love, which was awkward.
And then they said I love you after the fact.
Yeah, but after the first round, I guess it was a little awkward during.
I think it always is, right?
Yeah.
Well, and it's just, I think she's always talking, and finally you just see her like kind of at a loss for words, and you're like, oh no. That might not have
I'm
been what
calling
you
you
expected.
shenanigans.
Yeah.
Wait, what did she say? I was vajingling. I'm
I'm
still
I'm still
vajingling.
jingling. She was talking to Jenna.
Yeah, I'm gonna use that term.
I know.
Yeah.
Vajingling?
Vajingling. It's
What
like,
she call them? Like Tamarisms?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're great.
Do you guys watch Girls?
No.
Yes.
Well, doesn't she remind you of like high school Shoshana?
100.
Okay.
Yes.
100%.
But I like
100%.
but I
They
like
even look
Tamara
like-
way better.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
they do look exactly alike. I
Yeah,
think.
they look alike. I'll give you that. All right, let's talk about Sadie, because Home Chick was struggling this episode a little
She
bit.
was struggling for a little while,
Yeah.
and for a second, I was nervous that something was gonna happen with her and Maddie.
I want something to
I
happen
still
with
kind
her
of
and
think
You
Maddie.
something
know
might-
that something's gonna happen with Maddie and Jenna because in the preview for this season, you see her hooking up with, I want to say it's the guy from her English class.
Colin.
Oh yeah, which I want that to happen too. I want everyone to cheat on everyone.
Do you? I do
just
not
want Maddie
want
for myself.
Sadie and Maddie to hook
Really?
up. No.
I don't want them to. I just feel like that's where it's going.
Because
I don't feel
Sadie's my
comfortable with
favorite.
that.
I think Sadie has a crush on Maddie in real life.
Probably.
Oh, how could you not? I think everybody
I mean,
does.
he's
right?
walking around shirtless for most of the scenes.
Well, on the
so-
reunion, on last season's reunion, they had this whole thing where they were talking about who's most like their character. And she was the one that described Bo Murchoff, who plays Maddie. And she was like, well, he really is charming, and he really is handsome and nice and funny. And just saying. Not that even has anything to do with the plot, but I'm just throwing that out there.
So she's at cheer practice, and all the girls are whispering, and all the girls are talking about how her family is broke. So I guess it's out there now that, she has no more money. So I kind of feel like, I don't know if they said that girl's name, who is kind of the leader of the mean girls towards Sadie, but I kind of feel like she's going to make a power play for the captain spot. Because she was like, you don't have enough money to buy your way out of this one, Sadie. We're calling the alternate.
I love when Sadie's like just tearing down the whole team, though. She's like,
gosh,
what did she say? Itty bitty titties, and then she's like,
Jessica, you need to skip a few lunches.
Someone wants to
So
see
funny.
your vajay.
I don't know why more people don't stand up towards her. Do you think that like they kind of love to hate her? Or,
I think it's like the typical like mean girl. Like everybody's afraid of what will happen.
But she's not she's not the typical mean girl, because I feel like the typical mean girl is like also, and not that
that's
perfect.
True.
Do you know what I mean? And she's not, which is why I love this character so much, because I think she's really real.
Yeah.
But I don't know, where I grew up, people would be like, shut the F up.
I hope they talk just like that.
Jersey.
That's where they talk like in Jersey.
No, but I feel like she's a typical bully where she's all bark and no bite.
See, I think she's got some bite to her.
I think she's got some bite to her, too.
She hasn't proven that to me yet, because there was the girl in my high school who used to talk a big game and then always like she was going to fight people. And then every time a fight would actually break out,
she's like a sabotager.
She's a manipulator.
Right,
Yeah,
and she's very good at what she does.
Yeah, I don't think she's trying to get violent.
She's not trying to get violent. I'm not saying that, but I also don't think that if someone were to stand up to her, I don't think she would know how to react to that.
There have been times, though, where, like, Jenna stood up to her, or like, some of the guys have stood up to her, and she's been, like, and then she'll all of a sudden be like, like,
yeah, because she's
even the
quick.
teachers,
She's
too.
witty.
Like, even the teachers will say stuff to her, and she'll be like, I pay your salary, you're welcome.
Yeah. You're welcome.
You're welcome.
I love how Valerie kind of just ends up in that huddle.
I know. What are you doing?
Valerie is in charge of everything on campus that has to do with anything.
And I like how she kind of peaked in high school, too, because she's like, I could be the alternate in your spot.
Yeah.
We're about the same size.
Yes. That's who, for a while, I got a little lost in the conversation, and I thought she was referring to the alternate as herself. Like, I thought she wanted to be the alternate.
I think she did want to be the alternate.
Yeah. She was definitely laying the hints down, like, yeah, call her because it's me. And
there's the exception: pregnancy, like death,
and
polio.
Like, the rules are a little old.
Yeah, they were made in the 50s.
So unless there's anything else you guys wanted to bring up, I think that's covers the episode.
Yeah.
Wait, do we want to talk more about, like, do you guys, the conversations between Maddie and Sadie, like, do you really think that it's going to lead somewhere?
I think it has to.
I think it does too.
Because they hooked up, I don't know, season 1 or 2
before.
when he fell asleep.
Oh.
Midway
and then I feel like he kind of, because I think Jenna's kind of guarded and a little like too hipster, and I think he likes that Sadie's like vulnerable.
What if Sadie loses her virginity to Maddie?
I want that to happen. So bad.
Who do you think would be on top?
Sadie.
Yeah, Sadie.
Who would you want? Maddie.
All right, let's get into some news and gossip.
TV news.
So next week's episode, Tegan and Sarah, who are twin. Do you want to talk about it, Jason? Because
she's afraid to say lesbian.
I didn't say. I wasn't gonna say lesbians. I was just gonna say twin musicians who tour together. Awkward. But I just know that you're a huge fan of Tegan and Sarah, so I wasn't sure if you wanted to talk about. They're the music supervisors for next week's episode. MTV brought them in, and so they were interviewed, and they were just saying that, you know, they have one song that they included in the episode of their own, but that they kind of didn't want to include it because they wanted to help out some of the up and coming artists a little more. They wanted to make room for as many people as they could. That's cool. And so I thought that was really neat.
That's really cool.
They're already established.
I thought it was going to be all of their music in the episode.
they have stuff from the Courtneys, Diana, OK Sweetheart, and
Never heard of any of these
Super.
people.
Yeah, which is great because I mean it's one thing, you know, MTV always puts at the bottom of the page or of the screen what you're listening to, so you know you
MTV
can
is signing
find it out.
artists now.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
That's
Super
awesome.
cool.
Even
artists now.
better. And then I also have do we have that audio clip? Oh, no.
Let me get it.
Oh, okay. Well, Brett DeVerne and Bo Mirkoff, who are Maddie and Jake, they were goofing around on set, and since Awkward doesn't really have a theme song, they kind of created like an impromptu theme song. It's really funny,
Yes.
and I love it. So let's listen to that.
Give me a minute.
Okay.
I'll tell you a little bit.
Feels like the first time. Feels like the
Oh, in the song, you'll find out that the show used to be called, some of the previous titles were That Girl and This Is Awkward.
I feel like Awkward's kind of perfect.
Yeah.
And I kind of love like the gunshot for the period at the end. Like,
Yeah.
Can someone do that? I can't make that noise. I want to be able to say it on our show. Awkward.
Well, let's download.
Like, that's not
let's
it,
download the sound effect for next week
Okay.
Yeah.
then we'll
and
do
put it on iTunes, and then we can
do that.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that's good. Clever.
or something. I don't know.
Do we think that Tamara, I don't know why I want to call her Tamara.
Because you're thinking of Tia and Tamara.
Oh, you're right. Do we think that she's going to take over Sadie for lead cheerleader?
No.
She'll make a play.
Because what if she's really good?
No.
No.
Like she got
She's
all of a
also
sudden
dating
better.
a popular guy now.
No.
No?
It could happen.
Anything could happen.
Do you want to know what I want to see
Good.
more
Okay.
of?
Oh.
Is this a clip?
If
Yeah.
Awkward had a theme song, it would be something like.
They're so cute.
One, two, three, oh, 2, 3, 4. All right, one time. And one person counting. Okay. And one. Okay. And
Ready?
1, 2, 3, 4. There we go.
Awkward is a really great show. Jake and Maddie are the best of friends. There's Jenna and Sadie and Tamara too. Nikki and Lacey and other characters. Watch it on MTV on Tuesdays. Awkward! Yeah! Used to be called That Girl or This Is Awkward. But now it's just called Awkward! Yeah! And they're shaking Maddie. And then lots of girls. And they kiss them. Sure. Go to dances. Yeah. Oh, yes, they do.
Oh my God.
There's other
They're so dorky.
Yeah. So that's
I'm into it.
That's
yeah.
the theme song?
That's the new Awkward theme
Cool.
song.
I can keep
Okay.
doing that.
Check it out. MTV.com has the video to go with it. Those two are so cute.
And hopefully they'll be in the studio.
Yeah,
this
hopefully,
season,
fingers crossed, we'll get them in here.
and we'll make out.
Yes.
We all
that-
will.
That's all I've got for news and gossip. Let's talk about predictions.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
Who wants to start?
I'll start.
Okay.
So Maddie's moving into the house.
Ooh.
And
Could you imagine?
Jenna
I
gets
know.
clearly very claustrophobic and doesn't like it at all. Maddie's all up into it. I just hope they have sex in the shower.
Oh, I hope it shows it. Just saying.
Okay.
But I think this could be the beginning of the end.
That's what I'll predict off of that
Yeah.
because I think she's gonna hook up with that new boy in the English class, and Maddie's gonna move in with her, and she's gonna realize how dumb he kind of is, and this new boy is really smart, and
No
she's gonna be into
way!
that.
Maddie has been so good.
No,
especially
but
trying to open
Jenna
up communication.
self-sabotages everything, don't you think?
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
a
she's awful.
self-sabotager too.
So I think that
I got
It's okay.
Oh, just
I got sure babe this week. You guys.
Aw. The sure babe is the worst.
Like in different terms, I think it was like more of like a yeah babe, maybe even a see you later babe. But I got sure babe this week.
That's sad.
I predict that with Maddie moving in, clearly Maddie and Jenna still don't communicate that well. So we saw that, Maddie's over there like, yeah, dude, like I'm not overstaying my welcome. Jenna's like, I can't deal with this anymore. So I think we'll see the ending of their relationship. I'm not saying next episode, but eventually because of this move-in.
They'll
they
always
will.
be together.
Yeah.
But
And I want to predict
heart.
Joni
that.
and Chachi.
Yeah, I want to predict that Maddie
Winnie and Kevin.
impregnates Sadie.
Whoa.
That's a fierce prediction.
Well, I just kind of feel like that would be really fun to watch.
I kind of like that prediction.
Yeah.
I'll
Yeah, I
go
do
from
too.
there.
I hope that happens.
Do you guys think that Tamara and Jake are the type to get it on in the sanctuary?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Really?
I think Tamara's been wanting to do that since she got into
Because
high school.
I think she's gonna like let her little freak flag fly.
Hey.
Oh, and who do you guys think killed Ricky Schwartz?
Oh, I thought we
Because-
thought it was a peanut allergy.
Well,
But who
because
gave
we
him
saw
peanuts?
in the preview that Sadie and
the-
Tamara are playing with the Ouija
His
board.
boyfriend.
Oh.
His boy toy.
Oh.
He was really vicious about it.
I like him.
I
Clark?
think it was the Asian mafia.
Ooh.
And honestly, it's not so much a prediction, but something I would like to see more of. I think they're hilarious.
Oh, I do
Yeah.
too.
Scary, but hilarious. And I'd like to see a little bit more of that storyline as well.
All right. Well, if you guys want to keep the conversation going, you can always follow us on Twitter. You can find me at TweetT22.
And I'm at Giselle Ugardi on most social mediums. I've been trying to figure out what the word for that is.
I think that works.
And then sprintingandstilettos.com is my blog and vlog.
Oh. I'm Jason Eichler on Twitter and Instagram.
I'm Miss Zias. I don't know who I am. I'm Miss Zias on Twitter and Instagram, as well as my fashion blog, www.misszias.com.
Hey. Yay. All right. We'll see you guys next week with more Awkward.
From Bing.com, executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
You're welcome.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.